Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you here. It's Monday. Old Blue Monday. No more NFL, folks. You'll all be sad and no more NFL. It's February the 10th. As always, Doug Upstone, Chip Chirimbes joining me here on the Winner Circle YouTube channel. We're talking some NBA like we always do. We'll get to those free pick winners in just 1 second. And, of course, recapping that nail-biter of a game last night that kept us on the edge of our seats for about 19 minutes. But before we get to that, like, subscribe, notification bells on so you know each and every day when we roll out our free picks videos, NBA, college hoops, we've got you covered here. You don't want to miss out on that. But again, these are our free picks, which last Monday we did go 2-1 on overall for the NBA, 24-25. A little work to do, but we have what? February, March, April, May, June, 5 months of NBA action coming to you to get you into the plus here on the video for free picks. But if you want the premium bets, the best bets, you head to our sponsor, gamblersworld.net for all that premium action. 3, 7, and 30-day packages, all guaranteed. We show you a profit over the time, or we credit you back. Super. You want a day pass, which comes in handy when there's multiple packages up from the cappers, whether it's 3 NBA and 2 college hoops and a hockey, however it breaks down. If there's more than one, well, buy the daily pass because it's going to be cheaper for you. We're going to save you money while making you money at the same time. Because, listen, the premium picks are our top plays. They're not just random games I throw out on a Sunday afternoon for us to talk about during the week. You want the best plays? You buy them. You pay. The best things in life are not free, contrary to popular belief, right? We talk about this all the time. We don't want nobody's eating the lettuce on the side of the road. On the overpass, the free buffet, you wouldn't stop there. You're going to go to the restaurant. Chip's free plays are great, but Chip's premium plays, hello, the NBA, the guy's number one in the NBA. You want his premium plays. Doug's rocking in on the ice, in the money, 60%. That's where you want to go for the premium stuff. So there you go. That's my little sell for the premium content. But the free picks, overall, 2015 college hoops, 24 and 25 here with NBA. There you go. Always the truth, folks, whether it's in the free pick video or on the site. You know how we're all doing. Gentlemen, good to see you on a Monday. NFL, I'm going to do my little rant for about 3 minutes here. I'll try to keep it under 3. Good luck with that, right? You're going to roll your eyes like, yeah, this guy's going to talk. And then I'll give you your chances to rebuttal. And then I want to know how you guys did this weekend. But I just want to say, 40-22, the game wasn't close. We knew early that the Philly defense looked ridiculous. We thought we'd get right? You figure Kansas City second half will make some adjustments. I mean, you're down 24-0. You handed them 17 points. You gave them a pick 6. You turned the ball – after Hurts turned the ball over on the one, you turned it right back over, basically giving them a short field, another interception, a field goal. It was lights out Irene. Garbage points at the end, put it over the total. Hats off to the Eagle defense. And the coaching staff, because I thought Kansas City, that's where the edge is with Kansas City. Coaching, adjustments, in-game kind of stuff like that was not there at all. And reminiscent to the Kansas City loss to Tampa, the offensive line, horrific. Nobody is making plays when you got no time to throw the ball. Yeah. They rushed the ball. 7 rushing attempts. They got Mahomes running for his life. He had 4 rushing attempts. 7 rushes altogether. Totally out of their game plan. That is you're not going to win games like that, folks, in NFL. I don't care what team you are. You can't run the ball 9 times and think you have a shot at winning. Yes, they were down early. Self-inflicted wounds. Hats off to the Eagles winning. I give it to the coach. Hurts gets the MVP. I don't know I don't think if he didn't throw that bomb to Smith for 47 yards, I don't think he gets it. I think maybe you give something the defense. The defense won that game. Yep. Doug, go for it. How was your weekend? Give a quick little update on the game. We can't spend an hour dissecting a terrible Chiefs performance and a great Eagles performance. I got to say so.
Yeah, I mean I know they don't like to do this, but the defensive line deserved the MVP, the most valuable players, of the game. I mean there was no doubt about that. They dominated the game from start to finish. You can go a lot of different ways. The thing that struck me most about the entire game, and it just is, I don't know. I'm always kind of tuned into this, just on a personal level, is because the game was over early. So most of those guys let's just say middle of the fourth quarter going forward, they had time to kind of reflect, on what they just accomplished, what was going on. And so a lot of times when, they get interviewed, guys are, excited, they're kind of, they're just kind of overwhelmed. But Sirianni and Hurts in particular, in watching them, how they spoke, they were completely humbled by what just happened to them. That here they are, Super Bowl champions, all the things you got to do, had to do to get there, and you did, and all the crap you had to put up with. And in Hurts' case, I even thought of it more, because here's a guy that was pulled in a championship game in college football, okay, ended up transferring, got back to the playoffs, didn't have success with Oklahoma there, been there was 2 years ago, and here he is. And you can just tell by at least to me, you could tell by the look on the face and in the eyes that how comfortable and how just overwhelmed, knowing everything that they had done had gotten them to this mountain. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now that's me talking about it, but I don't know. I was very interested in that.
You go back to September, 22-21 loss to the Falcons, that 15-12 game to the Saints. They lose to the Bucks, barely beat the Browns. They want to fire the guy.
Right.
They're looking to fire the guy. And the talk was like, well, he brought in new coordinators. He's the guy who's going to take the fall this time. He fired the coordinators. They were the problem. And as the season progressed, everybody fell into routine. They got to know their system. 14-3, excellent season, capped off by what's there to say? The Lions should have got this MVP. I mean, Sweat had 2.5 sacks, defensive touchdown for the cornerback kid. I mean, no, and that's not to knock Hurts. He had a fine game, but it was a good game. Wasn't super. You see the points. Thank you, defense. Chip Chirimbes.
Yeah.
I know. Listen, NFL to you is second. You don't even care about that when you're rocking 90% of NBA stuff. But we'll talk about the NBA in a minute. What did you think about the game here? Your thoughts on everything that transpired there? And,
not so hot in the NBA this weekend, but I'm glad there's been, let's say, a denial or a put on the shelf that I had to hear about how Andy Reid was the best coach in the history of time. And so that kind of talk about him being a better coach than Lombardi and who's the guy from New England, Belichick. So that talk has been tempered. I mean, he was driven out of Philadelphia, you might remember that. But my take on the game is simply Kansas City just made too many big mistakes early, starting with that roughing the receiver penalty when he was hit. I guess he was unprotected, and it extended the drive, and then Philly ends up scoring their first touchdown. But third down, fourth down, offside, it just seems like every key play, Kansas City was out of sync. And I think that probably happens because of the way they were being manhandled by Philadelphia. But I was, kind of disappointed in Mahomes looks, like you said, you don't give anybody time. I don't care who you are. You're not going to be able to throw. But he was throwing very inaccurately, even at the very beginning. His passes, there was a third down play. He threw to the knees of Kelsey. He didn't catch it. And I think he was a little hurried or a little rushed during that game. And it was for the first time in his career, it sort of looked like Mahomes was in a panic mode. Not that he absolutely was, but he just didn't seem to be too sharp. By the time he scored 3 touchdowns, the game was already over. We knew that was going on, And so those are fake stats. It just reminds me of Orlando Cepeda. No, but anyway, 275 yards passing, and none of it counted. So. And that was my impression about it, is that they just made errors and mistakes. And this time, all of a sudden, and, we were hearing about the officials, but how they aided Kansas City during their streak. And yet they didn't seem to get any kind of call, lined up offside, jumped offside. They just got more and more opportunities. And Philadelphia really manhandled that team. There was no doubt who the winner was. The thing I was surprised about, I think I mentioned, I was surprised that Philadelphia opened up an underdog, and I was very surprised that they didn't go off a favorite, and that was the clue. Once there wasn't enough money coming on Philadelphia, should have stayed with the Eagles. Bad call on my part, having Kansas City.
Good. Yeah, I just had a question for you guys. Not that this had anything to do with the outcome, but were you guys surprised that they didn't throw the ball to Worthy more early? I mean, I was genuinely surprised by that. I don't know if you guys had a thought on that at all.
I think at the time,
I didn't think in the individual at all. I mean,
Yeah.
they did score 2 touchdowns, but just trying to watch that game, it didn't look like Kansas City could throw the ball to anybody.
Yeah, it just was.
I mean, early on, what are you doing there? They did nothing. They couldn't complete a pass.
Yeah.
He had 100 yards. He had 40 yards at halftime. I think there was nothing going on there. Now he finished with 160 receiving yards for Worthy for the game or whatever. But I mean, they did nothing. And there is a clip. I don't know if you guys saw it on Twitter. Like they're saying, well, he might have had a concussion in the first quarter. He got tripped up. He fell down. His head kind of boom off the turf. And they said,
talking about Worthy?
No, Mahomes taking a shot.
Okay, yeah.
He was running. He got the ball away. He got clipped up. He fell. His head kind of gave it, the one-time bounce off the carpet. Who knows? I mean, he ain't coming out. They're not. I don't know. That's an easy excuse. Listen, if they would have did something on the sideline and then you see that they're checking his head, then you'd be like, all right, well, he's got his bell rung. Yep. They're not going to take him out, but he's not 100%.
And the way you think that the way they contained Saquon Barkley and the horrible game that Mahomes was having, you'd think that the game would have stayed under the total, but it really had no chance. I mean, anytime the Kansas City made a mistake, it was a scoring opportunity for Philadelphia.
Well, you make mistakes inside your own 30-yard line, the other team's going to put up points.
Yeah.
And honestly, you had the Eagle guy, he crushed 2 long field goals. I mean, he misses those, it's an under. And I had the under. I thought it was the play.
The bookies out here got buried with the total. They got totally buried. They split a little bit on the game, but everyone bet the over according to Palace Station. What I heard from them, and as well as the Suncoast, they were just heavy on the over in this game, and so the bookies took a beating.
We'll just wrap this up here with you mentioned the total or the side opened up Kansas City 1.5. We talked about this on Friday with Victor and Mark, and if this game was in Philly, what would it be? Like a 2.5 for Philly, right? Philly 2.5, and if it was a Kansas City, that would probably be a 3.5, 4, right? Because they don't want to give you 3 with Kansas City, and they don't want to lay anything less than that with Kansas City normally. So I thought this line was where it would be because Kansas City is going to get the public vote, right? The public money per se. It didn't move. A lot of money came in on the Eagles, but this was. I think the line should have been where it was at a pick'em type game because there are 2 pretty balanced teams. The Eagles have the better defense. Yes, but all in all, you look at a team like Kansas City, they win. That's what it comes down to. Who did you trust to make adjustments? Anyone you talked to would have said it's Andy Reid and Spags over Fangio and Sirianni because we saw them destroy Fangio when he was in Denver multiple times. So that's, I think, why the line was where it was. But, hey, I knew Eagles had a better defense. I just was not expecting the coaching and the game plan right out of the gate. They were in trouble. So I knew that first drive. Holy cow, we got a problem here in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Fortunately, at least for me, I did have some suspense because I did have the over. Okay, yesterday at Gamblers World. So I was with the public betting masses. So persecute me for not being
a winner's a winner. Anybody can get it.
No, I'm kidding. What I wrote down exactly, I said, somebody's going to win 27-24. I have no idea. I think the game's going over. That's simple as that.
I was more to the 24-17 range. I didn't think
right. You said that last Thursday. Yep. Yeah. So I'd already made up my mind. So that's why I didn't say anything more about it.
We had a quick look at the future odds. My favorite future odd, believe it or not, is the Rams at 30-1. And I feel like the Lions will take a step back. San Fran, I don't know how injury they'll be to return. Detroit, I think, lose their coordinators. I think they could kind of really take a step back. And the Eagles. Now, they're all fan happy. You had a great full season from Barkley, but let's remember, the reason why he's there because Antoine Payne because he gets hurt. You had A.J. Brown nearly destroyed a team. Do we forget the guy was reading a book in the playoffs on the sideline in a game where Hurts didn't look all that great coming out of it. So that team I could see kind of splintering with nonsense if people aren't getting their stats and stuff. And so give me the Rams in a weak division and in a conference where You got the Eagles, you got Detroit, and then what do you got after that? I don't know who's quarterback in Minnesota, and do I trust Green Bay to take a big step forward? 30-1 with a Super Bowl coach, Super Bowl quarterback. I'll take the Rams at 30-1. My favorite play. I can't do any of these low numbers. No, nobody's taking a stand.
I have nothing because I never look at that stuff. I don't care about it, personally. So if you're talking football, hey, UFL starts at what, 6 weeks? I'm ready to go, baby. Bring it on. Let's go. Make it happen.
Make it a winner.
You won't talk an NFL Super Bowl 60 prop, but you're going to be ready for UFL.
That's right. Bring it on. Let's go.
I will be doing 9 baseball games while Doug's doing a UFL game.
Not on March
Sean,
25th.
Sean, you're such a snob, Sean. The football's football. You can win a football game. It doesn't have to be NFL.
No.
I could.
You bet college games.
No, I've never had any. What the day after a season ends, that's the last thing I want to look at because it's insignificant. And if somebody, if you pull the trigger, take the Rams at 30-1, and you end up winning, I'll congratulate you till the cows come home. But I have zero interest in that stuff. Never have, and I'm not about to start generating interest for it now. That's just my.
Listen, this is the end of the football conversation until August, so that's it. We got to get it out.
I don't believe it. Not with you here. No, I'm not. No.
Okay.
When the World Series ends, when the World Series ends, I'm not talking baseball until March. Yeah, or to the next show, whichever.
I mentioned it.
We're talking baseball. Listen, there will be some draft talk because we'll be doing a draft show. But other than that, there'll be no NFL short of guys getting released, cut, or traded. I'll make that promise to you, Doug.
Schedule comes out. Let's see here. Draft schedule comes out. What else?
We'll have a whole schedule release show. We'll do a schedule show.
I'll wait for it.
Yeah. So, all right. NBA. Anyways,
let's go. Let's chomping at the bit for this NBA. Everybody loves it. We will start with you, Doug, because you're angry at the football talk here.
I'm not angry at all. I'm not angry at all.
I'm with you. My show today, people talk about. I said it's over. The season's over. The game's over. Let's move on. I did my football last night. That's it. I'm with you. That's why I said no more. But we had to talk about it today. Let's talk about some NBA teams, and we got the Kings and Mavericks. A couple teams made some trades, looking to improve. The Mavericks, a 1-point fave here without their big trade guy because Davis is out indefinitely. The Kings made their move to reunite a great Chicago backcourt that won 0. They've been struggling since 2-4 straight up last 6. Not looking good. I don't know if I could take the Mavericks here at home. I mean, if Davis was playing, I was ready to back these guys. I think the team might think psychologically, we're like just snake bit. We lose Luka. That's all right. We got a Hall of Fame guy in here. We can be good. We're a good team. You're in the finals last year. We weren't just Luka. We can do this. I think that's like just a crushing blow to the psyche where they were kind of teetering on maybe going on a run, waiting for guys to come back. And now I think it's just kind of like, you know what? Whatever. These guys, I think maybe they're lost. I would lean Kings, but I can't put my money on the Kings. But your game here for the free pick, Mavericks -1, total 238.
Yeah, I mean the Paul when they made the trade for Luka. I mean, you probably even felt it where you are in Houston, okay? In terms of what people felt, and it was literally everywhere that you read, that everybody was disgusted, fans were disgusted, talking about some boycotts, a few instances here, and then, but then Anthony Davis, I mean, he looked excited to be there, and he comes out, plays 31 minutes in his first game, dominated the game, okay? Then he gets hurt, okay? So where's the mental state? Do you just go right back to the depression again? I mean, it's a legitimate question, especially for, the next game. Sacramento changed coaches, looked really good for a while, but you know what? The Kings have gone back to the court jesters, okay, in their last 9 games. They winning 1 and losing 2. They've done it 3 straight times now. So what do you look at for tonight? Well, the total keeps going up and up and up and up. I think it started at, I want to say 233 and a half, somewhere's right around there. Both teams have been playing with a lack of defensive intensity, that's for sure. But I looked at my power ratings. All 3 sets of them have this game in the upper 229s. I looked up, Kings are 29-10 away when the line is +3 to -3, and the Mavs in the same situation at home are 21-11 under. Plus, I like the fact that Dallas is 24-9 under off a home win. I'm going under that bloated 238 to get the job done on that one.
Under 238, official pick here from Doug Upstone. Kings, Mavericks, under 238. Again, this is Doug's free play. You want his premium action. He has an NBA pickup plus college basketball at gamblersworld.net. Go get a day pass, get them both, unless you just want to buy each individual. Do what you want. The guy's got 2. One, I'd pay 1 for 2, but that's just me. NHL, no hockey for my guy because we got no hockey till the 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, 12 days off. Looked a little international, I guess, kind of a tournament thing. So, yep.
So no hockey, but 62%, not a bad season from Doug Upstone on the ice. Again, college hoops, NBA up for tonight at gamblersworld.net. Chip Chirimbes, your thoughts on the Kings and the Mavs?
Well, what a bad break for the Mavericks. I mean, they were being crucified for making the trade in the first place, getting rid of Doncic and bringing Davis in. But they were thinking of the immediate effect. And immediately, Davis comes in, is spectacular. 26 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 block shots. And now he's gone. And so what are you going to do? I mean, they're in a really tough spot because Davis is older. We knew that. And he's always been susceptible to injuries. So I guess this is compounding the Mavericks' problems here as far as making this trade is concerned. Like you said, out for over a month. Zach LaVine was sent to Sacramento, and the Kings sent DeAndre Fox out. They shipped him out. So the Sacramento team, I think, this line coming up the way it is, so close to being a pick 'em, makes me, like Doug had said and you guys had mentioned, I think Dallas is hurting here, maybe psychologically as well as physically, without Davis in the lineup. And I would lean toward taking Sacramento. You know, Dallas is 15-10 at home, and yet and 1 game under 500 on the road. Ours is Sacramento. It's been kind of, they're 18-28 on the year against the number. So you've really been taking a beating if you've been betting Sacramento against the points. 18-32, excuse me. That's 36% in 50 games covering. But I think that this line is kind of telling to me. I'd lean toward the Kings.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just don't know where they are mentally, psychologically. It's a tough blow.
Yeah.
The under, I agree with, because again, if guys are checked out and just come in there, however, it could be a nice, 120 to 100 win for Sacramento or something there. So lean there, Kings for me and Chip. Official play here is on the under 238 with the Kings and the Mavericks. Next up, the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs a 9.5-point favorite. Here's a biggie. Big line here. We go from a 1 to a 9.5. Total 230.5 here in this one. Minnesota, 5 wins in a row. They had a couple losses, and they had 3 more wins. This is a oddball team here with Minnesota. They were struggling. Our guy, Scott Pritchard, loves to come in and crush their young guard here for being a chubster hanging out in three-point land. Is he going to show up here today? He was out a couple games. Chip, listen, you're having a great season. I look at this game and I see the Cavs 33-19 ATS, 42-10. I think they are the best team in the East. I think they beat the Celtics. I know it's Celtics are an excellent squad. I'm high on the Cavs team. We know Doug was from the start of the season. We did our show and he was like, Cavs, forget the Bucks. And now Giannis is out for however long he is. Do you take them here? They had a little rough patch a couple games back where they dropped 3 in a row. Are you laying 9.5? Are you more into the total? Mr. Number 1 NBA guy, go for it.
Well, I'm going to gravitate to the total here. Cleveland, of course, fabulous season, not only straight up against the points, 33-19, but they've gone over 34 out of 52 games, and Minnesota's gone over 29 out of 53 games. I see the game going over. Cleveland's number 2 in points scored on the year, 122.4, and they're number 2 in field goal percentage at 49.8, and a lot of those shots are 3-pointers. They've won 6 of their last 7. Minnesota's averaging 14.5 turnovers a game. And one thing about the turnovers, sort of like in what we saw in the Super Bowl game, a lot of times they lead to easy points. there's steals and there's people out of position, and so those turnovers I think are going to help Cleveland's cause as far as scoring points. Cleveland just beat Minnesota 127, 117, 124, 117. They won. I think the game goes over. I think Cleveland's offense is just, clicking, and they're really good. And Minnesota's moved. By the way, that Anthony Edwards, I saw him the other day. That guy is absolutely fabulous. And it's hard to believe that Minnesota is where they are with this guy on the team. But they do have a three-headed guard system going out there. But Edwards was so impressive to me, and I think the game goes over.
Official pick, Chip Chirimbes, over 230.5, Minnesota and Cleveland, over 230.5. Doug, thoughts on this one?
This one, in watching Cleveland some here, to me, they look a little bit bored, to tell you the truth. I think we're to that point of the year, the All-Star break's coming up. And then after the All-Star break, you got about 10 days, and then it's March. And what's kind of we've always been told the timeline for playoff teams to kick it into gear? March. Okay. And so I think I don't think it's a surprise. It just it kind of goes, and Chip was just talking about turnovers. In the Cavs' last 3 games in which they failed to cover any of them, they've had 50 turnovers in those 3 games, and they average 13 a game. So, I mean, that's just sloppy play. That's a lack of, just concentration, things of that nature. Minnesota, you mentioned, Chip, 8-2 straight up most recently, seem to have struck a nice balance finally between offense or defense in their runs this year that were good and bad. Either the offense was really good or the defense not really kind of working together. But, Anthony Edwards is questionable tonight. Now, I don't know if the line suggests he's going to play or not, but that at least caught my eye. And in this one, I'm thinking the Cavs might have something a little extra to play for tonight, just to get the juices flowing maybe a little bit after some dull performances. They're 24-14 against the first half line if they are a home favorite of 6.5 to 9 for the full game. And they're 20-9 against the first half line if they're coming off a road victory. So I'm going to take Cleveland minus the 5.5 on the first half line here.
First half play for Doug here. And looking at this number here, it's a 9.5. ESPN bet opened this yesterday at 6.5. A lot of places had 7.5s, 8. So we're looking at 9.5. The hit for Edwards is obviously why he's questionable, and I think we probably will not be getting a Edwards sighting here just based on that 9. But the total here, 230.5, official pick for Chip Chirimbes. And again, this is Chip's free pick. You want his premium action. He is number 1 in NBA on the site. He's got a couple games up. Go get his package right now. He's got 2 NBA and a college hoop. So there's a prime example of the Gamblers World All Access Pass, where it comes in handy when you got 3 packages up here. This is from a guy who's number 1 in NBA. Go get it from Chip Chirimbes. Final game on the card here. The Portland Trailblazers plus 9.5, 230.5, playing the Denver Nuggets. Doug, you're saying about teams just kind of going through the motions, playing a little bit. Denver, 27-25 ATS, right? So they're a team that's just chugging along. Let's get to the playoffs. I want to take the points here. And I'm going to say let's take Portland 9.5. They had a great stretch at home. Favorable schedule. They won a lot of games. 9 in a row ATS. 8-1 straight up. But they lost their last game because they lose by 16 to the Timberwolves, right? So they go on the road. You're home. Everything's nice and cozy. You go play a playoff team, and you get waylaid. I don't know. I think you're going to give me points here. I know it's never easy going into the altitude there. It is a young team. Jeremy Grant is questionable. Obviously, same kind of thing here. Line open to one spot, it moves a little bit. We're thinking, is he playing? Is he not? I'm never going to come in and lay 10s right? We're not really into laying double digits. And to win by 10, you got to be up probably about 20 in today's NBA with the way these teams go on runs in the second half here. The 9.5 looks good to me. I'm going to take the points here. Just with Denver, not that they're Kansas City or these teams, but it's one of those, let's just win. We got the playoffs ahead. We're an older team. We're nursing guys back. I mean, looking at their injury list right now, look at the questionable marks here. Gordon, Murray, Porter. All 2 probables are questionable, and then everybody else out. Westbrook, Watson, Carl. I mean, it's okay. I'm going to take 9.5 with a young upstart Portland team off a bad loss. There I go. Official pick here. Portland plus 9.5 in the NBA. Doug, what do you think about this one?
Well, you mentioned Portland here. So, I mean, they went into that game in Minnesota, and you might not have seen this. The only reason I knew about it because I had Portland the other day. So, 9-1, 10-0 against the spread. They were going into the game when I put it at Gambler's World. They were +6. At the game time line was +4. So, betting public was on that. They had an 8-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Portland did. They were outscored 38-14. Welcome to the NBA. Okay, so just destroyed to get blown out. So so we were talking about mental state. Well, did they let a bad quarter influence them to go 0-3 on this road trip, or do they bounce back? I think they have a chance to bounce back, but in a different way, because Denver is one of the worst first half teams in the NBA. And right now, if they are in a revenge situation, playing with revenge, which they lost to Portland earlier by 2 points, they are 3-16 in the first half. Their next game, including 1-8 at a Mile High. Denver, if they're a full game underdog of 3.5 to 9.5, like they are in this one, they're 8-3 against the spread at halftime. I'm going to take Portland plus 5.5 to cover the first half line at Denver.
Another first half winner incoming from Doug Upstone here on the Trailblazers Denver game. Again, my official play here for the show, Portland plus 9.5. We're going to go to Mr. NBA. Chip Chirimbes here on I'm under take here, but being February 10th, anything good happening today?
Well, all right, I'll get to this date in baseball and sports history, and there's only a slow time of the year actually in the middle of February. By the way, in 1920 on this date, Major League Baseball decided that you can no longer tamper with the ball, because up until that time you could scuff it, you could throw spitballs and things along those lines. So that was in 1920, and that was actually caused upon some players getting hit in the head, and they were feeling that they weren't able to control the ball as well, which I don't think really makes a difference as far as loading it up. In 1969, Pete Maravich, you guys remember him? Pete Maravich scored 66 points against Tulane, and LSU lost. They lost 102-94. Now I've got some, I guess some juris action here. In 1992, this is the date that Mike Tyson was convicted of raping Desiree Washington. And in 1997, this date, O.J. Simpson was ordered to pay the $25 million, which he never gave a cent for. And to give back to the Browns and the family of the people that he innocent. No, he was innocent, right? Or not guilty. He was not guilty. He didn't kill anybody.
You're never innocent. You're just not guilty.
Just not guilty. He's not innocent. That's for darn sure. And but otherwise, on this date, you're going to see Denver. Sometimes less is more, like you said, Sean, because these injuries, they had people out. And one little blessing is that they've won 6 in a row without Westbrook. And and they were 14-3 since Jokic returned, because Nikolai was out for a while. He's number 3 in scoring, almost 30 points a game. Number 2 in assists, over 10, and number 3 in rebounds at 14. Dominant player. Portland's had that run, and that really bothers me because I played against them. I was on them twice and against them the last time out, and I got beat. I'm going to go against them again. I know you guys have it the other side, and I wish you luck with it because I have no interest in this game, actually. I'm just playing the devil's advocate, and I'm playing the guy that these two teams play Wednesday, so we'll see what happens here. Maybe we'll have a better play on Wednesday after this matchup.
Agreed.
Yeah, they play these ridiculous back-to-back sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like a fourth grader making a schedule. Oh, let's put them. Like, how many times do we see this? The NBA.
Well, I guess they want to cut down on travel costs because sometimes they're playing 2 games at the same site.
Yes.
Back to back,
Well, they are doing that here. They're playing in Denver on Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if I had to speculate, I don't know this for a fact, but when they was it maybe 7 years ago, they started to expand the schedule. So, in terms of number of days, not number of games, to give players more time off. So any potential situation where, in certain circumstances where you can play 2 games back to back, I think they try to do that on occasion just from that standpoint. I'm not saying that's the answer, but I believe that's what it is.
What drives me crazy is that teams are just meeting each other for the first time now. The season's half over, and a lot of those teams they haven't faced yet.
Yep.
Especially when you're in the same conference, like we're gonna just play. You could play a team when they're hot, and we're gonna come talk about a matchup in May. And it's like, well, they played back here, and so won 2 games by 40 points combined. Well, it was a whole different team back then.
And how about that? They play these 2 games back to back in November, and then they're coming and they're playing again in February, March, and they had that 3-4 month period. I mean, the dynamics of these teams change dramatically between that time. At least they have a chance to. Maybe they don't, but it's like 2 different teams meeting up 3 months later.
Yeah. Well, just ask a quick question, and this is to inform the viewers. What is, I don't know if either one of you, I think we all kind of think of revenge to a certain degree, in handicapping in games. What is, for example, in the NBA, what would be your time limit as to where you think that revenge is useful? So in other words, if teams played, if they played the same week, if they played 2 weeks later, but if they get to a month or more, it's more inconsequential. What do you guys think?
I think I don't know. It's pretty tough. There may be a reason why they want revenge if there was animosity during the game or conflict. And then again, some of these guys are going through the motions. They take days off anytime they want. So, I don't know if that revenge factor is that, say, pertinent.
Okay.
Short of you get walloped by 30, I think the next time you play them, whether it's a week, 6 weeks, the next year, you're going to remember that game. You're like, last time we played these guys, they beat us 144 to 102 or something. You're going to want to show up. Otherwise, if it's a shorter week, I get it. But sometimes the team just owns a team. They got you 5 in a row. I'm not looking. Yeah, we're going to get them this time. I don't know if we're going to get them this time. Maybe they're just better than you. But I more look for revenge for me, Doug, is when a team gets really waylaid. And that's just a revenge versus that team. But even the next game out, you lose by 20 plus, I'm thinking you're going to show up the next day.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious. Yep.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. That's for me for NBA. That's why I just look at the games just in general. I try to find, we all agree here. These players take days off. Physically, they take days off, and mentally, they just kind of check out sometimes, or they go through the motion. So, again, Chip Chirimbes, #1 NBA. I'll say it every time, man. Just unbelievable. It's for me the hardest. I think it's the hardest. I tell you why I think it's the hardest. So, Chip Chirimbes here, #1. Well, let me just do this, and we'll tell all the good stuff at the end here. Portland plus 9.5 here for me as a free pick. Over 230.5 Cavaliers and the Timberwolves for Chip as a free pick. Doug Upstone is going under Dallas and the Sacramento Kings as a free pick. Again, these are our free picks. We went 2-1 last Monday. We were 24-25. Not great. I get it. Well, why would I want to? If you can't win free picks, why don't want your premium stuff at Gamblers World? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you go to Gamblers World, you see the records here. And as I mentioned, Chip Chirimbes, 2 NBA in the college hoops. He's #1 in NBA by a country mile. Just unbelievable run. Go get his premium picks right now. Doug Upstone, again, hockey, 62%. #2 in the money. Ridiculous run. Now, there's no hockey today, but that doesn't make a difference. I'm just pointing out sports here and records as opposed to free picks to premium picks. They are what they are. You want something, get the best plays at gamblersworld.net. Doug has got college hoops up. NBA there for Chip. I got some college basketball. I think, #1 now in college hoops against Bittler. Keeps trying to bully me. I'm not going to let him. I'll come back. I'm a for punishment, win or lose. I don't care. I'm not stopping Brian. You can't stop me. I got a 3-pack up. Go get it. I had Temple yesterday. So
you had a 30-pack up, as you said?
30-pack. No.
30-pack?
3. No, I've been pretty good. Some days I'll have 8 or 9 up. I had 10 on Saturday. I think I went 4 and 6 or 5 and 2, something along those lines. But I'm not. I haven't done that all year. In the past, I have. I've had big 17-game Saturdays when there's a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I've been in a little rhythm since the beginning of the year. I don't want to change that.
Right.
I do not want to change it. I'm not doing it. I don't care how hot I am. I'm not going to be like, well, I'm going to do 10 games today instead of 2. No, if I'm going to keep, you know what? The gambling guys are fickle. They are fickle, my friends. You don't want to get out of. I just tell my wife. I said, "It's like, oh, you haven't get out of the house." I'm like, I can't leave. I can't. I'm winning right now. I got to just do what I got to do every morning. Leave me alone. I'm not going out. I have to come in and sit here and stare at a screen for an hour before I do anything. That's just the way it is. You know how it is, gentlemen, right? I mean, that's what you're on the heater. Things stay the same. Give me my dry white toast. I don't know. It's just the way it is. Anyway, good seeing everybody. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl and our little that's it. No more football talk. That is all. College basketball, NBA going forward. These two gentlemen will be back with me on Thursday. I have Brian Biller and Matt Fargo for College Hoops on Tuesday. Like, subscribe, notification bell on the way out. Good luck, fellas. I'll see you later this week. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.